guys. Welcome to another episode of Snagged Podcast and Giveaways. Just you and me tonight, big man. The other boys are all off working and doing things, as they do.
That's
What's been happening?
We'll
Let's see what's been happening in the north.
well, in the north and the northwest. I've been away, of course, for a bit of it, so I haven't caught up with too many people. But I have heard that the Australian salmon are still going quite nicely on the breakwalls and also in the small boats. The people that have got their small boats going out looking for some flathead have managed to get some nice salmon and good size too. Good fun, the salmon. They're like a sports fish, really. They, for their size, fight quite nicely. Good fun on the light gear. But also at AgFest, we were across the way from the fishing hub, and I popped across a couple of times and I sampled the Australian salmon they had over there that they'd had smoked. And it was actually quite nice. So it's inspired me to maybe see if my partner Marcia and the kids want to go and try and catch some Australian salmon this weekend. We'll go and try off the local breakwalls and see how we go. And I'd like to try and smoke some. I know you've got some gear in the store and you got right into the smoking of meats there for a while.
Absolutely, yeah, quite enjoyed. The salmon do smoke up really well. It's a good fish to try and do. A little tip we always used to do is we'd get the fillets and leave the skin on. And I know this sounds like everything you're not meant to do with fish, but trust me, it works. Once you filleted them, get a bowl of just water out of the tap. You find, put a little bit of salt in it, and if there's any herbs and spices that you like, chuck it into that water and sort of mix it up so it's almost like a saltwater brine. You put the fillets in it overnight in the fridge, and what you end up getting is like this reverse osmosis thing where all the nice briny flavoured water goes into the fish and all the gunk and crap that's normally in them starts to come out. And you look at the water the next day, you're like, well, God, looks disgusting. And then we'd smoke them up like that, or sometimes we get like a soy wasabi mix and actually just like baste the top of them before we smoke them. And we'd smoke them like that, and they're absolutely amazing. You get a little bit of that briny sort of flavour coming through, and it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, well, I'm keen to give those a try. And what else was there? Oh, some chaps went out. I had to give them a little hand to fix their boat. So they were in a bit of disarray. They wanted to go for a fish. They couldn't get any power to the motor. So I went down with my multimeter, checked a few things. Turned out it had done the main fuse on the motor. So managed to fault find that for them, sent them out, and with a few tips to catch some whiting. They were very keen to catch some whiting. And didn't do any good. I think they need a better sounder. It sounded to me like they were pulling up on some rocky ground or some shaly ground. Actually, some of those bigger whiting on the northwest coast are on the edge of that shaly ground. But they must have missed it by a little bit, and I might have to look at the burley they use as well. But they're slowing down. I think as it gets colder, the water temperature is starting to go away, so they found it pretty tough across all species. Of course, they managed to find a nice bag of gurnard, but they weren't the sort of people to fillet those. I might show them how to do that safely. And the other pretty cool thing, but I'm yet to confirm, but it was I'd heard it from a couple of people that someone caught a bluefin tuna from the breakwall, so it'll be the east side breakwall at Wynyard. So land-based bluefin tuna on the northwest coast. So I'll try to verify that, but that sounds pretty cool. And to be fair, that vision I saw of those school-sized bluefin tuna off, where was that, Rocky Cape boat ramp, they were close enough to cast to. So that might be something. Well, how cool would that be if we can start catching some land-based bluefin tuna off the northwest coast? It'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be really good.
And what was the other thing I was going to talk about? There was one other thing, but I can't remember. It might come to me a bit later on. But how has everything else been going?
Yeah, look, I think the weather's been a little bit challenging over the last week or so, which has sort of slowed things up a little bit. But I still managed to get some reports from deep diving into the internet. What do we got? Still plenty of bluefin down Eaglehawk Neck. Some schoolies and some jumbos still coming through, which is kind of cool. Obviously, the weather makes it hard. I saw some video footage, a couple of young guys that were down here for university come from overseas, bought themselves a little tiny little boat, went down to Eaglehawk Neck on one bit of time where they had some half-decent weather, went trolling around in this tiny little titty, using a big pen spin fisher combo, just one of the cheap good ones like that. Hooked this tuna. 4 hours later, they're still fighting this thing, pulling them all around everywhere. Got up to side the boat, and they think it was about 120 to 130 kilos. There's no way it was coming in the boat. It's not going to happen. Anyway, got it there. They're absolutely spent. And I thought, oh, yeah, we'll go and try and gaff it. Missed it with the gaff, and then straight under the boat around the prop and lost it. But they didn't seem to care about that. There were smiles all around. Footage is hilarious.
They
That's
thought
kind
it
of cool
was.
too. So
They thought it was an adventure, and it sounds like it was. And I mean, sometimes that's the best way to learn. Is pardon me. Well, sometimes the best way to learn is to make a few mistakes. You learn from your mistakes, and sometimes those lessons are burnt into the old brain. And
exactly right.
and even then, if you can work out, sometimes if you've done something and it's gone a bit wrong, you can go, oh, I wonder what other people do. You can ask questions or get on YouTube and actually turn a negative into a positive and learn a bit more about what's going on. So that sounds cool. Hopefully they keep an eye on the weather, though, on that little boat.
Yeah, it wasn't particularly big. I didn't. I think the fish was about as big as a boat, so definitely not coming over the side. That's for sure. What else got? Just locally, Browns River's been fishing extremely well. Had a few guys in today. They've been down there smashing the brim, saying they start to school up a little bit down there, which always makes them a little bit more fun to chase. Elephant fish in Margate, Northwest Bay sort of area, that's fishing well. A lot of the guys just going down there with circle hooks and a ball sinker and some squid. Some good ones amongst them too, which is kind of cool. Similar to up north with you guys, still heaps of Aussie salmon kicking around everywhere, mackerel everywhere. Quite a few Taylor and the Derwent too seems to be the other thing. And I got a cool report this morning. A guy sort of came in, he went out with his kids up in Northwest Bay and got onto a bucket load of juvenile snapper, so that was kind of cool.
Oh, there you
I
go.
was letting them go, catch and release. But yeah, report-wise, the Derwent's been fishing really well for bream, vibes down deep that time of year. It's pretty common. So so there's plenty of fish around. As far as trout go, obviously season's mainly closed, but there's a few guys been fishing up the D and other spots getting rainbows, which is good for this time of year. Trying to make the most of it until the season fully shuts up.
Yeah, I mean
That's
those rainbow waters are still open, and there are obviously some waters still open all year round. So for those that are still keen to get their trout fix, just get on the IFS and check out those ones that are open all year.
Absolutely, for sure. All right, cool. We've got some good brag photos though. Not all in Tasmania. So we actually went a bit north for some of these, just to fill it out a little bit. Cool. What have we got? Hayden Miller with a cracking Aussie salmon. That was a good fish, my man. Well done. Dave Risley got a good feed of mackerel, salmon, and Taylor from the Derwent, like we were talking about before. A lot of Taylor around this year. Lots of them.
There are species that are growing in number and probably consistency. Same with silver trevally. Like silver trevally have always sort of been fairly strong at a very thin time of the year, particularly down the east coast and St George's Bay. But they are going into a lot more of our estuaries now at a certain time of the year. The silver trevally have been quite strong up here on the northwest coast. And so those species are seen to be ranging out more. And I mean, people go on about the global warming and this, that, and the rest of it. It doesn't take much of a temperature difference to allow fish to become more comfortable in their environment. Like, it's not like humans that can buck a fair bit of temperature. Like myself, when I had a bit of weight on, I was quite happy to mooch about with shorts and t-shirt in 4 degrees. But a fish only has to have like 1 or 2 degree change, and it becomes uncomfortable to the point where it doesn't want a habitat there. And you see that with the those ocean-going leather jackets. They all washed up dead again down at Eaglehawk Neck, and everyone freaks out, going, "Oh, there's something going on." But it is just basically on the East Australian current. Those leather jackets will come down in the nice warm water with the marlin, with the yellowfin tuna. And those bigger fish can sort of skedaddle back to where they got to go. But those smaller fish get caught in those currents. When those big southerly currents come up and there ends up being a bit of a cauliflower-shaped swirly push, they just die and they wash up. They don't buck that water. But on the flip side, that 1 or 2 degrees warmer that we're experiencing is bringing those trevally, the snapper, and like you mentioned, those Taylor. So it's good. So fingers crossed we see some 4 and 5 pound Taylor, because they're good fun. They fight hard.
Absolutely. What else you got? Stewie Nichols. Stu Cordwell went out with him, 73 birthday for treated himself to a trip with Stewie. So he'd been coming charters with him for over 20 years, and he finally got himself a barrel. So 121 kilo jumbo bluefin tuna. Awesome work there, legend. That's kind of cool. Stewie is the man. Boys at Double Hook Fishing Charters. Joel got with young Joel got his first barrel, 88 kilos. Good fish. Got to be happy with that. Cool little story. Young Jack Wise, a good customer of ours here at the Fisherman's Shed, had a recent trip up to Darwin, just having a bit of flick around and stuff like that, and got this awesome 108 centimetre black jewfish. That's a good fish, especially on his first trip.
No,
You can't go wrong with that. Yeah, so awesome work there, youngster. And young Arthur Widdock with a nice rainbow trout as well, finishing off the season. I reckon he said it was going to be his last trip, I think you were saying. So it's cool. It was a good fish. But yeah, go the rainbows. There's a few guys starting to sort of use this month to get into them. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of reports come from rainbows over the next couple of weeks. Well, the season kicks off.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. I've got a report about me catching some salmon on the weekend, and also at the end of the month, I'm going up to Lake Macintosh to fish the stick comp. The stick comp is coming up. That's one that we do as a fundraiser for motor neuron disease. And yeah, so we're all looking forward to that. It's not it's not really about the fishing for me. I just like to help raise the money and catch up with all those guys that put that competition on, because they do a great job. So fingers crossed and that's a rainbow comp too, so fingers crossed we do quite well. I say we because I'm going there with Marcia and our daughters. So,
cool.
Yeah, off we'll go. Hopefully they won't freeze to death and whinge too much.
Yeah, awesome. But that's all I got for Brags. Guys, just remember, if you love what we do and you got reports, feel free to send them in. If you want to go in the draw to win some awesome prizes, I've got a big box of Shimano lures in the office behind me that we've got to give away. They've got to go to a better home than sitting around here. So www.snagged.com.au, grab yourself a membership, and hopefully you guys will win some prizes, and it helps support us do what we do every week. So awesome, guys. Thank you very much.
Cool beans. Catch us later.